You're listening to Drive on BBC Radio Merseyside with me, Roger Phillips. A new website putting culture at your fingertips has been launched in Liverpool today. The Open Culture site was first launched in 2008, but now a new and improved version aims to provide everything from an online exhibition space to a culture swap shop where you can get anything from a tin of paint to a whole venue. It was unveiled at FACT by Phil Redmond, and I asked him why the relaunch was necessary.
I think it's about, I said in my New Year's resolution not to keep going back to 08, but Open Culture was done very quickly as almost like a safety net for people to start swapping ideas about culture across 08. Now that we've come through it and we can see the lessons of that, I think what's really necessary is still the ability for people to have an open access platform, the ability to swap ideas, and the main point of the site, I think, is the ability to signpost, for us to be a facilitator to help people find what's actually going on.
It looks much more user-friendly than the old site.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing, and that's so you're going to have a relaunch, you've got to have something to relaunch, haven't you? So it's a lot more user-friendly, it's less clunky, and it'll operate a lot smoother on a lot more platforms.
And it is really genuinely open culture. No one's going to moderate it. You put on what you want to put on.
Yeah, it is generally open because, I've always believed that, culture is everything we do, and I think if people have got ideas, sometimes they should be disturbing, and they should sort of challenge people, to make them think. After all, that's what everything I've done at Brookside, Grange and Hollyoaks has always been about.
It shows off what you do. It also, there's this wonderful cultural swap where you say, look, I need this, can you help?
Yeah, exactly, and I think we found across the time that so often people have good ideas, but they just need that little bit of extra help. That can be either actually loaning someone a hole or actually just giving them a few gallons of paint to help them paint a set, and I think it's those but people sort of get stumped about how they go and find it, and they get locked into thinking, I need to get a grant to actually sort of like go and buy some paint. Or actually, if you find someone who's got some old paint at the back of the warehouse they're not selling, that deal's done.
But your ideal dream is that somebody out there, maybe half a dozen people out there, in 10 years' time, through open culture, will be discovered, if you like.
Yeah, I think so. I think the other side of the site is the fact that it's up to the kind of professional institutions to every now and then look in and see what sort of talent is out there, and actually talent which might be a little bit nervous about stepping into the everyman, or a bit nervous about going to the Blue Coat, or even sort of a bit worried about how they're going to be received in the John Moores exhibition, But the fact that they can stick it up on the site, and then a producer, a director, a curator can actually dip in and out of the site and say, well, that's interesting, I wouldn't mind having a chat with them, and encouraging people that way.
And eventually finding the person who's going to change the whole of Merseyside, if not the world.
Well, yeah, and I think if you think back, and you think back to the Everyman in the 60s, it was probably the equivalent of sort of, opening its doors and trying to encourage people, and the Everyman Youth Theatre and all those kind of things. This is the technology of today, this is the way, and I just encourage practitioners to use it, and don't sit in the ivory towers and don't start fretting about you haven't got resources to go out and do it. This is it, we're giving it to them, let's see if they use it.
Phil Redmond, and I do encourage everybody to use it. It's a really fabulous resource. www.culture.org.uk is the address, www.culture.org.uk.